Hello everyone. I wanted to show you a quick demonstration on how you could do um, the extra credit portion of your assignment. First off, I've taken copies of 3 students' sheets. The first student did the monthly clothing costs for this clothing store, and the second student did the uh, payroll for this clothing store. And the third did an income and expense report for this clothing store. So now we're going to combine those sheets into one. And so we'll come through here and give it a start. Now, you may note that each student came up with some different figures. So we're going to just take their 3 sheets. In a real life situation, this would be a little different, but because you're working on your Excel portion individually, and this is an extra credit portion, just to show how to link the sheets, I thought I'd give you a very simple example. So the first one I'm going to take from the payroll. And I think what I'm going to do is give you an annual projection of what the payroll will be. So it's going to be an auto sum. And I come over to the payroll sheet and I say, okay, the gross pay for the payroll right now is this, but that's a weekly pay. So I'm going to take that number times 52 weeks in a year and click enter. Okay, so there's my payroll. Now I want to go into the sales, and let's look at that students' information, how they did this sale. Oh no, this was clothing costs, not sales, so it would have been okay. So clothing costs, and we're going into the beginning inventory. Here's the total sales, the total profit, and so the profit's going to be the well. Let's come back over here and say clothing profit instead. Okay, make it a little bit easier. So I'm just going to take and go and start my formula equals carry student. Their profit was this, and it was a monthly profit. So I'm going to take that times 12 and hit enter. And that's my profit. Now let's go to the income and expenses sheet and see what he did there. He said the profit from the income and expense, that's sales, okay, and he's got different expenses here, so we might be able to work this. And this is for the quarterly, so it's going to be all of that profit. So let's come back over and say income and expense says profit. And we'll go in here and look at Joe's student. What did he do? He did all of this. So, but he did a whole quarterly, so possibly I need to change that formula and make it an auto sum. And not there. I want to come over to Joe's student, or Jack's student 3, and grab all of the information from his profit. See, now it's summing Jack student 3, B17 through E17, and that's what I want. I just have to hit enter. And I've really, at this point, I've done the extra credit portion. I want to see that you know how to do that. So what I look at when I look at these is where did they take the information from? Does it make any sense? And if I should give them the full extra credit. So if I did a control tilde on this and looked at these, I can see that each one of these bits of information came from the separate sheets, and then I just have to look to see if it made sense. And in this case, I know that she did hers monthly, so they did 12 months out of the year. He did his weekly, so that's 52 weeks in the year, and he already did an annual projection, so that gives all of the information. So that's enough for the extra credit. So that's just to give you an idea of what you're going to do. I don't need the graphs there because I have those in the original submissions. And so I just need the copies of the sheets. Oh, now one other thing, how did I copy the sheets? So let's just come over here and give you an example. If I'm in a different sheet altogether, and let's just open up maybe this one. Okay, so if I'm going to copy this sheet information, I just have to copy by hitting the copy button, come back over to the sheet. And the trickiest part of this is to making sure the formulas came over properly. Because see, like this one didn't. So I'd have to clean that up a little bit so that the formulas came over properly. Possibly what I didn't do in the original copy is copy a cell that he was referencing. Oh, well, see, he started in row 5. So if I do that, copy here and come back over and make my paste, let's get rid of all this, delete it. On row 5, I may be okay. Let's see, copy, bring it back to row 5 and paste. Yeah, so I didn't lose those formulas that time. So that gives you an idea how it works on the copy paste, and that would just give me another sheet for another student, and then I would just name it. I obviously have just made some fictitious names here, so what I want you to do is to just go ahead and put in the full first and last name of the student that participated in the extra credit. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this sheet. And for my group, I would save this as extra credit example, and or not extra credit example, but U11A1-2 group 2 extra credit, or whatever your group number is. So that gives you an idea, and hope that helps. Thanks. Bye.